afternoon and a happy new year to you all from Match of the Day. And it's a new year that's already given some tangible encouragement to Football League clubs. Let's hope it continues, and we continue our Match of the Day season with two most entertaining games. Manchester United versus Aston Villa, and later our main game, an all-action promotion battle, Fulham against Wolverhampton Wanderers.
Today's headlines: non-league Weymouth players hold an emergency meeting and their FA Cup tie at Cambridge is still in the balance. Aussie Ardiles makes a surprise appearance at Spurs' training session, and the FA's expected massive profits from the World Cup turns out to be peanuts.
We start our New Year action at Old Trafford, where Manchester United are unbeaten this season, and it's the turn of European champions Aston Villa to try to upset that record. They're up against a fanatical home crowd, a determined board and manager, and a high-priced player or two. Your commentator is John Moxon.
Brian Robson starts 1983 as England's leading footballer. Now confirmed as captain of club and country, he's Britain's costliest player, and he's also currently Manchester United's leading goal scorer. And he'll only lose that distinction when their forward players improve their own scoring rate. Norman Whiteside, Steve Coppell and Arnold Muren return today after missing Tuesday's defeat at Coventry. Out go Ray Wilkins, Ashley Grimes and Scott McGarvey, who drops to substitute. But no changes in defence, because prior to that Coventry game, United had kept 6 successive clean sheets and still have the best defensive record in Division 1. Aston Villa, like United, took only 1 point out of 6 over Christmas. The Tokyo trip seemed to signal a slump in their form, and it's since cost goalkeeper Jimmy Rimmer and England forward Tony Morley their places. Mark Walters and Nigel Spink have been given their chance. Spink, who came on for Rimmer early in that European Cup final against Bayern Munich, will need to be on form again today if Villa are to end a run of over 28 years without a league win here at Old Trafford. Referee this afternoon is George Tyson from Sunderland. So two famous clubs, each worried about their recent form. Aston Villa wearing white shirts today, playing from right to left. Already an offside. Usual combination of Peter With and Gary Shaw playing forward for Aston Villa. Oh, a mistake by Evans, covered by Gibson. But he was over-ambitious. Moses got a foot in. This is Muren. And the deflection comes off Ken McNaught for the corner. Arnold Muren, who had the shot. And the United line-up here is McQueen going onto the line. Whiteside standing just off the line and Stapleton in the 6-yard box. McQueen up for the flick on. And Whiteside had pulled away initially, and as he drove the ball back, there was a deflection. Although it'll be a throw-in on this side of the field. Moses. Nicely back to him by Robson. That's Moses' cross. McQueen is still well forward here. Oh, and a bad one by Mortimer, straight to Arnold Muren. The flick inside, Spink comes with Bremner, and Stapleton drives and over. Well, a mix-up there in the Aston Villa defence. Nigel Spink came for the ball. Bremner was in there, defenders perhaps and goalkeeper not at one, and as it bounced for Stapleton, he couldn't direct his shot underneath the crossbar. So a let-off really there for Spink and Aston Villa. And Aston Villa trying to find a foothold in the match. Cowans, though, looking for Bremner. Overreaches. Whiteside, and here's Stapleton. And a deflection, and it might run for Whiteside again. Spink saved it, Stapleton couldn't get there, McNaught could. Ball didn't run kindly there for United. Whiteside looked as though he might jab it in. Stapleton had a chance as well as Spink had come out. Didn't fall for them. It'll be a corner. And Stapleton up with Spink this time. It's been fisted back to Steve Coppell. And headed out by Bremner, only as far as Muren. Coppell again. Teases Gibson. And it goes, and Moran and McQueen are up together, and there's a chance, and Robson wouldn't go in. Stapleton and Spink. How did he survive there? Ask one of the men on the ground, don't ask me. Amazing. United finding that the ball just won't go in the net. But they must have had 3 or 4 strikes there in a matter of a couple of seconds, and the ball still finished in the arms of the Aston Villa goalkeeper. A bit awkward, that jump by With was impeded, it seemed, by that of McQueen, but play goes on. Alberston, Robson. Good triangle there involving Muren as well. Alberston will now continue his run. Well, Manchester United now well into their 4th match without scoring, and the longer it goes on, I suppose, the greater the danger that their confidence is affected. Trying to put an end to the sequence here is Alberston. Well, he may have helped to do so. He's forced a corner off Gary Williams. With Muren backing, a touch and a chance for Robson, and turned in. Frank Stapleton was there inside the 6-yard box to finish it off from Brian Robson's earlier effort, and the barren run has ended. Well, 3 matches without a goal plus 30 minutes here. I think that must make, what, 300 minutes? And at last Manchester United are back on target. Corner played across. Robson had the first strike. Stapleton was lurking in the 6-yard box, and that's 1-0. And relief spreads round Old Trafford, because it had seemed that the ball would never go in. Williams. Or McQueen has stumbled. Shaw with a chance. Fell, appeals for a penalty. Yes! Given. The first mistake was by McQueen. Gary Shaw had a chance. He appeared to be tripped, and referee George Tyson had no doubt at all and pointed to the spot. Gordon Cowans, 5 penalties already converted this season. He scores with some comfort, so it's 2 goals here in a minute. Altogether now, Cowans has scored 8 for Aston Villa, 6 penalties, and that one he just tucked quietly to one side of Gary Bailey, who had no chance. So within a minute of taking the lead, Manchester United are back where they started. Stapleton, Whiteside. Well, it certainly brought the match to life, that little spell. Muren. Stapleton started his run. Oh, it's a lovely touch back, but nobody able to take advantage. Nevertheless, the applause for the mobility of Frank Stapleton. We've got just under 3 minutes left in the first half. This is Robson. Alberston. Moses. It's Robson again. There's a little deflection on that, and Spink is going to try and save it and can't. So a corner to United. Gordon Cowan's on the line. Spink in a bit of trouble here, but Gibson's header, a very good clearance by Walters, driven back in, and a chance again. Gibson out once more. What excitement we've had in that penalty area, and Aston Villa living once more on their nerves rather, but again, in fairness to them, they've got bodies there to get the ball away. Time being added on now for stoppages at the end of the first half. It's Gary Shaw pulling it back. And Moses with time to turn on that and look for Whiteside. Good touch, Koppel. Stapleton starts a run on the left. That will not find him. And if goalmouth incident is the name of the game, then Manchester United provided plenty of entertainment in the first half. Frank Stapleton scoring, although there were many other near misses. But within a minute of that, Aston Villa equalised when Gordon Cowan scored from the penalty spot. So at half-time at Old Trafford, it's one each. Well, the Stretford end booed the penalty decision, but they probably had the best view of anybody. We can see it from behind the goal, and Kevin Moran perhaps not intending to catch Gary Shaw like that, so maybe it was a little harsh, but Shaw certainly went down, and George Tyson, for one, had no doubts at all. That penalty was only the 5th goal that United have let in here in the league this season, only the 7th that Villa have scored away from home in the First Division. Indeed, it's only once in the last 16 months that United have let in more than one goal in a match here at Old Trafford, and their neighbours City put 2 past them earlier this season. It's the other end where most of their problems have been, and trying to put them right here on the near post is Whiteside with the flick on. Spink coming out. This is Bremner. That's a good-looking ball. Mortimer made the forward run, and the ball carried. Fortunately for Gary Bailey, it was a very good ball by Des Bremner. Mortimer got behind the defence. Bailey came out. Didn't make contact with man or ball, and a goal kick. Warren into Whiteside. Now then. That's been given right on the edge of the area. Whiteside fouled. So Manchester United's turn to perhaps do something from a set play. Arnold Muren useful with the left foot, as we all know from here, but so too is Brian Robson in their different ways. And that was Muren, and he's hit the post. And this is Moran. And he pulled it back in, and they're all up for that, and away by Bremner. Typical Arnold Muren effort. Firm and accurate, clipped against the post. And up goes Moran. Oh, and Spink did well against the feet of Steve Koppel initially. From Moran's header. Here's Cowans. Moses. Koppel away from Cowans. Can he beat Gibson? Franz Duxbury. Walk with Whiteside, hooked away by Cowans. Shaw having to defend. Robson. Again, Aston Villa pressed right back. And United will settle for the corner. McQueen's there again, and so is Moses! Off the line, Moses! Appeals for handball. They chased the referee for a possible penalty, didn't get one. Gordon Cowans, I think it was, on the line from Moses first, but what a good save that was, and Moses went in again. Then there was appeal for hands. Now it's Muren, right side. Is there a chance here? And McNaught gets the ball out. Well, it's like an assault course, really, in that Aston Villa penalty area. It has been most of the game, and look at that, they're slicing it now in their anxiety. In it goes from McQueen. Koppel! Well, Spink says cool down, but it's been fairly hectic in there, to say the least. What a clearance off the line, and Moses doubly denied. Cowans away from Moses. And Shaw. And With couldn't reach it. In fact, With complained about the quality of the cross. And the attendance has just been announced on the electronic scoreboard here at Old Trafford. 41,545, a fine gate when you bear in mind that United were at home last Monday, they're at home this coming Monday, and at home again in the FA Cup next Saturday. Whiteside, oh, what a good turn. Oh, he left him in his wake there, Stapleton. And can Koppel drive one? What a goal! What a goal by Steve Koppel. And two of the players who've taken a certain amount of criticism for Manchester United's lack of goals play a part in that one. Norman Whiteside leaving McNaught sprawling, got away. That caused the opening, but when Koppel ran onto that, what a finish. And so Manchester United take the lead for the second time in the match, and now it's a question of whether they can keep their nerve and not get caught on the rebound as they were in the first half. Superb approach play by Whiteside, and for Koppel, only his 5th goal of the season, but surely his best. And that's Stapleton onto Koppel. Wide on this side is Muren if the ball can be worked over. Augustin. And Stapleton touched it on for Brian Robson, right foot, Moses, Whiteside, he's missed it. And Manchester United look again at an opportunity and must say they should have scored. Initially, I think Brian Robson should have taken the responsibility with his right foot, but he checked, perhaps preferring to try and get it onto the left, and when it ran loose to Whiteside, he put it wide. To maintain their interest in the Championship, Manchester United and their supporters well aware that this game has got to be won. Another slip at home won't do, so while it remains 2-1, they've got to be careful, and Walters has got to be careful as well, because he's annoyed the referee in that last incident. And gets a word. And Stapleton got there, oh, it's in! Well, Ken McNaught won't be too happy about that. The free kick was fairly orthodox, and you wouldn't have thought Stapleton would have got a header into the back of the net from that position. But McNaught didn't stop him, and neither could Spink stop the ball. So 3-1 looks a lot more healthy, and it does reflect rather more fairly the way this match has gone. Stapleton congratulated by Brian Robson, and his overall display this afternoon deserving of some good fortune now in front of goal. Cowans. Well, it was 4-1 last year here to United against Aston Villa. But for the moment, it's Villa back on the attack. Why I say back, I don't know. They haven't been there too often. Backheeled for Cowans to chip one, and McNaughty's coming in, and the header past his own goal was, would you believe, by Stapleton, who just goes to show what an all-round player he is. It's played out wider for Mortimer to come in here, and Bremner. Driven by Duxbury, hoping to find Koppel. Duxbury. So United at last find the goal touch, and in particular Frank Stapleton, part of a very impressive front three this afternoon for them. Norman Whiteside having a good match, especially bearing in mind rumours about players United might sign for his position. And Steve Koppel, who tells me he's feeling fitter than for some time, he's now back in full training, or some training anyway. He's scored a beauty. United then ending their lean spell, but Aston Villa now have taken only 1 point out of the last possible 15.
Oh, United back to goal-scoring form. They're now 8 points behind leaders Liverpool, but with 20 matches to go still, it's not time for anyone to give up the chase. Villa's chances of honours clearly lie in both FA and European Cups. In contrast, Fulham and Wolves, who provide our next action, are single-minded in their ambitions, promotion to the First Division. And that's why yesterday's meeting at Craven Cottage was so special. Your commentator, Barry Davis.
A familiar scene for Fulham regulars, but I wonder how many of them know that on their way to the ground they passed the first home of the local boy who made good. Because at number 33 Finlay Street, 33 years ago next Friday, was born the team's manager, Malcolm MacDonald. Already with a considerable part in the folklore at Craven Cottage, and now trying to lead them back to the First Division after an absence of 15 years. And for this vital top-of-the-table match, he's got a full-strength side. The stomach bug, which has worried a number of players, has in every case cleared up. And also Dean Coney, who's been troubled by a knee injury, is fit and plays. Wolves are also at full strength, welcoming back from injury Mick Matthews. And the one unfamiliar name, perhaps, Gordon Smith at number 4, is now back in the side. He was signed from Tottenham Hotspur in the close season. Fulham in white, Wolverhampton Wanderers in old gold. Fulham attacking the goal to our left. It's a contest between the two top scorers in the second division. Fulham with 42 goals, Wolves with 40. In a match which promises a considerable contrast of styles. First free kick taken by Tony Gale. Here's Lewington. And an offside verdict against Gordon Davis. 15 goals he has already. The manager has set him a target for the season of 25. John Burridge. And getting a feel of the ball at the other end is the Fulham goalkeeper, Jerry Payton. Finds Davis. Sean O'Driscoll trying to get a long way around. Houghton. Lock. Houghton again. Oh, he turned so well, and Tony deliberately left it. Wilson. This is a very useful young Scot. Tony Gale. Didn't know that his colleague was going to win it. Lewington. Oh, it runs to Davis, and it should never have been allowed to. And here's Coney, with Fender struggling to get back. 3 against 3 in the middle, and one of them is Houghton. And it was John Humphrey who ended the danger, temporarily at least. Ends with a corner conceded by Gordon Smith. First corner of the match. Hopkins on the near post, Gale just behind him, Brown just behind him. And the punch was a bit down, and Wayne Clark was there first. Gale. Wilson to Davis. Eaves, Gray is in the middle. He's got no support on the right, and he wanted somebody. He's got to do it alone. He went back into the crowd. He virtually had to. Handball by Kevin Locke. Now, what's he going to do about that? Because is he going to see that as deliberately denying a goal-scoring opportunity? Well, there's a fair buzz in the crowd. There was a player moving behind him who might have collected and had a shot at goal. The referee takes the name. It's been placed on one of the green lines of the rugby league game. Gray lets it go, comes to Matthews. Pender! Oh, I say, what a nice goal. Really beautifully worked. Really delight from the scorer, and not surprisingly, because that's the first senior goal he's scored for the club, but also delight surely on the bench, because that is practice and training in the week that has worked out to perfection in a match. 27 minutes gone, and Wolves have the lead. It's Tony Gale. Ray Lewington. Too high and wide. Hibbett. Houghton was a little bit late. Played by Wilson. Locke. Davis. And the infringement was not by Hibbett, but by Humphrey. And the referee, who has spoken to Humphrey before, decides that words need to be put down on paper. Six Fulham players in or around the box. That's Roger Brown. Jim Barron, rules number 2. Hibbett. Lock. Bit of a breeze blowing up, as you can see then when the ball curled for Kevin Lock. This is Gordon Davis on the deck against Dodd. Not enough power in the shot. The intention was clear enough, but Barry took plenty of time to hop and skip across his goal. Stretched by Dodd. Brown. Gale. Lewington. Lock. Gale. Nice. Smith who turned it away. Only the second corner of the contest so far. Both have been conceded by Smith, and therefore both have gone to Fulham. Barrett's got the hook. Houghton. And the linesman flagging, suggesting handball. I could only think that, I must say, I didn't see the handball by Palmer. But the linesman flagged. Well, to be fair, the sequence was a shout from the crowd. And the linesman flagging, and I must say, my view of that suggests that was a very harsh decision. The ball has been unpredictable in its bounce on an unpredictable pitch, and I think that is very rough on the Wolves skipper. And Lewington will take it. Lewington against Barrage. Lewington gets the second bite, and it's 1-1. But the luck there on 2 counts, certainly with the home side. The first penalty, or rather the original shot, really wasn't a particularly good one. Barrage able to parry, but Lewington was the clear favourite to get there first to the rebound. So with 7 minutes to go to half-time, it's all even again at 1-1. And here's Gray. That's a good challenge by Brown. Goal kick. Smith. Pender. Davis. The trip by Pender on Coney. And the referee has words with Mr. Smith. Taken by Gale. That's Brown! And that's in! Real looper off the back of Brown's head, but it isn't going to count. Because the referee right on the spot spotted somebody presumably in an offside position, and John Barrage can feel very relieved because he got himself a little disorientated then. And again, one feels that the point might be made that the goalkeeper and the header from Brown were the only 2 people really involved in that. Clark, just a minute left of the first half. That's beautifully laid off for Palmer. Pity he didn't match it, but he's got a corner. Curling. It was out by Coney, back by Matthews, and flicked in by Wayne Clark. Goalkeeper Little, unfortunately, well to get a hand to that at all. Wayne Clark reacting really well to put his side, Wolves, ahead at 2-1 against the side for whom his brother Alan used to start. Instinctive reaction by the goal scorer, and it gives Wolves back the lead. Brown. And the end of a half which started rather coldly, but certainly ended with considerable warmth and a 2-1 lead for Wolverhampton Wanderers. The pick of the 3 goals, certainly at the set piece, the goal scored by Pender. Lewington equalising from the penalty spot, and Wayne Clark claiming the goal which puts the Midland side in front at the halfway point. Well, certainly plenty of talking points for the crowd at half-time, and away now we go on the second half. The late challenge by Palmer, and the free kick has been given. Coney on his own. And pulled away from his man well. Here's Davis. Clark looking for the nod on. Gray, who made one from a pretty prone position. Matthews. Peyton, a real struggle. A bit disappointed. He was being strongly pursued from behind by O'Driscoll. Certainly an escape for the goalkeeper. He wasn't quite where he wanted to be.
He's safe and well, and if you'd like to collect him, I'm sure he'd be very pleased.
Great.
In the cottage, Andrew Richmond.
Hibbett. Did it well, did Roger Brown. Curl on the pass from Hibbett. Sense we're in a crucial stage of the match. Hibbett. Stretch again by Kevin Luck. But there's a gap on his flank. This is Eves. Brown. Chase for Houghton. Gordon Smith with him. Ran kindly for Davis. Coney. Davis. Lewington in the middle, but no one for the rebound. Brown. Hopkins. Fulham keeping up the pressure. O'Driscoll. Oh, he did well. Did very well. Houghton. Hopkins. The crowd sensing a breakthrough. "25 minutes remaining. Here's Lewington. Here's Locke. Davis with Dodd, and fouled by him, and the referee wishes to talk to Dodd, and the book is in hand. It's the third booking. Locke, Humphrey, and now Dodd. Brown! Oh, what a save by Burridge! Marvellous stop. Hand was right up on the bar. The header was of considerable power, and I suspect spinning away. And he really did well, the keeper. Lewington. They haven't really come out together. And it reaches Wilson. Faced by Matthews. O'Driscoll. Corner. One really has to admire both the way Wolves are defending and the way that Fulham keep trying to play the ball through. No question of bashing it up and chasing, trying to control it. That's curling, and O'Driscoll! Oh, what an opportunity wasted. Free header from a player unmarked, and Burridge should have not have been allowed to have smelt that. Hopkins, another telegraphed the intention. Humphrey, Dodd. Tony Gale, very much in the Bobby Moore mould, does like to play it at the back and occasionally gets himself into trouble as a result, but a player of some quality. Clark. Corner. Dodd has stayed forward in the position he took right at the start. This piece of Wolves' ascendancy. Then it's hit low, and that's a gift. Melies arrives in the middle of the 6-yard box. Suddenly carves an opening and knocks it in unmolested. So in the 78th minute, Wolves have real breathing space. And that's the scorer's 5th goal in the last 6 matches. He took his opportunity, whereas the player who played the ball forward then, O'Driscoll, did not. Hopkins. Good header by Wilson. Here's Davis. Coney stabbed at it with his right, and maybe he made the wrong choice. Referee just playing the odd stoppage time. We haven't had a trainer on the field throughout the 90 minutes. It's been that sort of game. Players have battled hard, but have got up from every challenge and continued immediately. Goal kick. So 3-1 to Wolves. They took their opportunities. It might have been different, but for 2 incidents in the middle of the second half, a magnificent save by John Burridge from a header by Brown, and then O'Driscoll missing an open goal. In a not dissimilar opportunity, Melies made sure that his went in. And in the final analysis, football matches are decided by taking the chances. And Wolves gain 3 more points from a 3-1 victory.
Well, I suppose that match could have gone either way, but Wolves' blend of youth and experience, with more than a dash of determination, was better suited to the condition than Fulham's slick, short-passing style. There was such a harsh reaction last time I mentioned Fulham's pitch, I hesitate to grasp that nettle again. But since Malcolm MacDonald announced yesterday that Fulham, enterprisingly, are to install the league's first grass cell system pitch for the start of next season, perhaps I dare. Malcolm's problem is to stick to his first-time passing style at home, which I and many others thoroughly enjoy, or compromise his beliefs and win promotion points somehow. It'll help if supporters understand that problem. Lastly, Craven Cottage lived up to its reputation as a fun place to go when, after Fulham had been given a penalty for handball, awarded single-mindedly by a linesman, a strong Fulham voice behind me thundered, "Happy New Year, linesman!" Well, by the way, that Wolves performance, judged by Bobby Robson and others as the best of the week, will win for a local boys' club £500 under the new Fiat Fleecer scheme, which began yesterday. So the new year moves us smoothly to Scotland for the reinstated traditional New Year's game between Rangers and Celtic. Here are the goals described by your commentator, Archie McPherson.
That's a very good ball. Celtic edging forward very slowly. They have 5 men in the penalty area. McStay, brilliant goal. Crisply hit him. 1-0 for Celtic. 13 minutes gone. And the youngster took advantage of a rather stranded-looking Rangers defence. And as he stood there rather leadenly, he ran in and punished them. Did that very well indeed. More typical of MacDonald. Bet. Here is Cooper. Puts that away very well, and it's brilliantly saved. And there's a goal. Kenny Black, the equaliser. The first shot at goal has paid off. Well, the youngster really picked that up, and that was great play in the touchline by John MacDonald. Could well have been brilliantly saved, and then Black stepped in, and he made sure. Into Nicholas, who ran very intelligently in. He's aiming for goal himself this time, and a brilliant goal. Absolutely superb goal by Nicholas. 25 minutes of the second half gone, and we'll have a look at this. You got the impression he had made up his mind that if Celtic were going to score at all, that he was a man to do it. He didn't want any support. He went on his own, and that is the most glorious finish.
Another marvellous goal from Charlie Nicholas, his 31st this season, and remember he's only just 21. Another 21-year-old with the same golden touch for goals is Welshman Ian Rush, who yesterday scored his 3rd hat-trick of the season in helping Liverpool to a 5-1 win over Notts County. Rush's record is quite remarkable. In less than 15 months, he scored 51 goals in 86 matches, a success rate of over 59%. Well, Rush is obviously a key member of a Liverpool first-team squad which will now stay together at least until the end of the 83-84 season. Manager Bob Paisley made certain of that when skipper Graham Souness and England's Sammy Lee both signed new contracts over the Christmas period. Non-league Weymouth continue to make news today. Remember, the players refused to travel to Maidstone for an Alliance Premier League game yesterday because of a row over expenses. With an FA Cup tie at Cambridge next Saturday, the club's directors tried to take the heat out of the situation by saying they would continue to pay expenses while the FA were called in to arbitrate. But the players flatly rejected that offer when they held an emergency meeting in a local pub this morning. They wanted no FA intervention and demanded that expenses should be paid as agreed until the end of the season. So this afternoon, the board met the manager, Stuart Morgan, and players' representatives, and the outcome, which I have just heard, was deadlock. The players are now to seek advice from the PFA. Meanwhile, tomorrow's Alliance Premier League game against Bath is doubtful, as is the considerably more important FA Cup tie at Cambridge next Saturday. Well, the problem of expenses is an issue very much in the minds of the FA as they consider their profits from England's participation in the last World Cup. Their share from the tournament in Spain was over £500,000, but after expenses, the actual profit will be less than £100,000. As FA Secretary Ted Croker explained, with contributions to clubs, match fees, generous bonuses, and the horrific expenses in Spain, there's very little left in the kitty. Well, with almost a full league programme tomorrow, one or two clubs have rung in today, concerned that some newspapers show conflicting kick-off times. To put the record straight, all matches kick off at 3 o'clock, except for the following. In the First Division, Watford versus Manchester City, that's 7:45. In Division 2, Burnley versus Middlesbrough, 7:30. And Leicester-Chelsea, that's a morning kick-off, 11 o'clock. In Division 3, Newport versus Millwall is 3:15, and Southend-Exeter, 7:30. And in the Fourth Division, the games at Bury, Crewe, Halifax, Hereford, Port Vale and Swindon are all evening kick-offs, 7:30. Better news today of Ozzy Ardiles, now back at Spurs. After being in bed all day yesterday with an ear infection, he made a surprise appearance at training this morning. However, it's very unlikely he'll play against Everton tomorrow, and his return to the Spurs side should be in next Saturday's cup tie against Southampton. Well, now the bonus of goal action from one of yesterday's top matches in Division 3, Cardiff versus Bristol Rovers. Both clubs are pushing for promotion, and a crowd of over 11,000 were at Ninian Park, where our commentator was Idwal Robling.
Hatton. Good control and a good pass to Mullen. And that too, a good pass to John Lewis. Well, it's intricate. And a penalty. Hemmerman pulled down by McCaffrey. And the referee in no doubt at all. Hemmerman. Oh, he makes it well. Just a few yards outside the area. There's a change. Gary Bennett and Phil Dwyer. In it comes. Bennett, and what a beautiful goal! Carter's throw. Barrett. Should be one for Dibble. A challenge from Bradu, and it's loose, and it could be awkward, and that's a penalty. Phil Dwyer on Archie Stevens. Well, Andrew Dibble, who was really the hero of the first half, can he keep Bristol Rovers out from the penalty spot? He's going to take it, left-footed. The save initially from Brian Williams, and from the rebound it was Les Brad who put it home. John Lewis, good pass to Bennett. Tong. Crowd wanting a penalty, but Dave Bennett with a chance to cross it. Interesting. Goal, and it's Hemmerman.
Time now for the result of our December Goal of the Month competition, and I'll tell you the winner in a moment, but first the winning order chosen by our panel. It was ECG, so the Goal of the Month was scored by Kenny Dalglish for Scotland against Belgium, and it was unanimous.
Archibald turns back to find Graham Souness. He's looking to knock it forward. Picks out Dalglish, and a marvellous turn inside the defender. Steps around another. Oh, and into the top corner. A stunning individual goal by Kenny Dalglish.
Quite a goal, wasn't it? And the first postcard pulled out of the sack with the correct winning order was sent in by Mr. David Tyrrell of Stoke Prior, Worcestershire. Well done, Mr. Tyrrell. £100 of the premium bonds are on their way to you. and that will certainly start the new year right for Mr. Tyrrell. But we all wonder what 1983 holds for football. Will it be the turning point, or will it bring further misery? Who knows? But yesterday we asked the managers involved in our matches for their wishes, hopes and fears for the year of 1983.
It's been a good season as far as football goes. I think certainly clubs and teams have made a great effort to try and entertain this year, and I think the goal record certainly shows that. Hopefully over the Christmas period the crowds have been a tremendous bonus for all the clubs, and hopefully that will continue. And I think if we can marry the two together, continue to play entertaining football and encourage the crowds to come back, then that's a good basis to put football back on its feet again.
It's just to make the product good, John, isn't it? I mean, we've got to produce in this country good football, because if we do that, there'll always be a paying public. We've got to get the ball forward, and we haven't got to make square and back passes and become negative in our play. We've got to thrill the crowd. We've got to get the ball into the box, haven't we? It's about bold, bright enterprise and purposeful football.
It would be very nice to go into the First Division and join the big boys. We've got everything set up to do so in regards to the stadium and what have you. But I think as long as we can keep providing entertaining football, I'd like to see the crowds remain as they have been today. We've played Wolves, we've had almost 18,000, and that would be great if we could continue to have great atmospheres and entertaining football as we've had. And if it can happen in the First Division for us, then fine. But if it doesn't come to that by the end of the season, then at least the Second Division is a lot better than the Third, as it was last season.
I hope that by the end of the season we've won something. Football in general, I'd like to hope that Bob Paisley has a very happy retirement, and we should take Kenny Dalglish and Graham Souness with him.
It's my wish of wishes. Probably above going back in Division 1. If we could stamp out all the hooligans all over the country, I would sacrifice that because I think football would be much, much better off.
If the product is good, we'll get the crowd back.
And so say all of us. So let's end this programme by reiterating our sincere New Year wishes to you personally, and that 1983 may turn out to be a blessing for football, with goal-mouth action galore and crowds to match. Happy New Year to you.
Couple again. Teases Gibson. And it goes, and Moran and McQueen are up together, and there's a chance, and Robson wouldn't go in, Stapleton, and Spink. How did he survive there? Ask one of the men on the ground, don't ask me.
Brown! Oh, what a save by Burridge!
And that was Moran, and he's hit the post, and this is Moran. And he pulled it back in, and they're all up for that, and away by Bremner. Oh, McQueen's there again, and so is Moses! Up the line, Moses! Appeals for handball. They chased the referee for a possible penalty, didn't get one.
Gray lets it go, comes to Matthews. Pender! Oh, I say, what a nice goal.